Hi everyone, hope you are doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, there is an interested group that went to the court to seek a court order to stop the parliament from vetting the 51 PSs that were appointed by President William Samoei Ruto. And according to this group, they are citing that the 51 appointment does not meet the constitutional threshold on how the face of the republic is supposed to be. So the court decided to give a court order. Of course, they have stopped the parliament from vetting these PSs. That is where we are now. And if you check on that list, surely to be sincere, you are going to realize that these PS positions have been dominated by two tribes in this country. It is good now we say things the way they are. You'll find we have the Kikuyu and the Kalenjin dominating the PS and the CS slot in this country. A country that has more than 42 tribes. And it's like William Samoei Ruto is not borrowing a leaf and learn from President Uhuru Kenyatta's mistakes. For those who remember, in this country, after the 2017 general election, there was a big problem. People were now pushing for what we call secession in this country. They had a reason to that, and there were about 3 or 4 things, the reason why they were pushing for this. Number one, the push for secession came as a result of the stolen election. Number two, it was because of how these people were forming the government formation. And number three, the issue of distribution of resources and the project in this country. People were feeling that President Uhuru Kenyatta made a mistake when he constructed his cabinet. Largely, it was purely Kikuyu Kalenjin with a few people here and there, from CSS, PSS and CASS, even the illegal ones. There was no face of Kenya. When you go to the issue of project, they concentrated in areas where they got votes. Mount Kenya and Rift Valley. Then there was a stolen election, as simple as that. So, the NASA side were feeling that because of this, we will not continue to entertain this government because we are contributing resources. Our people in our area, Western, Nyanza, Coast, and all those areas that were backing railaodinga, they feel being left out during the time to run project in the country, yet they are giving taxes. Now, Raila came with something was pushing for resist, and even he was going to an essence of trying to stop this region from contributing taxes to the government. Uhuru Kenyatta was pushed to a corner. He had nowhere to go but to accept the reality and try to bring in other tribes and spread the national cake across the country, even in the NASA side. That's what Raila Odinga used. So you'll find in the second term, after the handshake, there is visibilities of projects that were done in these other areas. So the message sounded clear. I thought Ruto was going to learn something. That after you won election, the issue of formation of government should reflect the country. Diverse, Kenya has a diversity of ethnics. We are a tribal nation. So we have to accept that and then appreciate everyone in that government when we are forming. But now from the word go in the formation of this government, Ruto has refused to accept this. He's doing the same mistake Uhuru Kenyatta did in the first term. Then when you come to the issue of resources, again it's like he will go in the same direction. Then the question is, how will those people whom we did not choose, some PSS and CSS and even CASS in his cabinet, contribute resources in terms of taxes. KRA is going every corner to collect these resources. How are they going to contribute resources when they don't have people from the area to represent them in this government? That's the question. So if Ruto is not careful in his government, the way he's going, the language of secession will be back on the lips of Kenyans. I want you to listen to the lawyer Dunstan Omari arguing on the issue of representation and the collection of taxes to run government at Spice FM. Then we will continue with this conversation. His argument is making a lot of sense.
Yes. The preamble of the Constitution is what takes the tone of the Constitution. You've gotten it right. Kenya appreciated that we have a multi-ethnic diversity.
Yes.
And in the preamble, we are saying that we are proud of that ethnic diversity.
Yes.
And it must form the basis of any decision. Into every article, we must be alive to the reality of a difference of religious and ethnic background of Kenyans. Is this composition and alive to that? And cultural. Those three things, the whole of the Constitution, every article is alive to that. If we are not alive to the ethnic, cultural, and religious diversity, then we are a country that will not go anywhere. Idioms are 51.
For PSS.
For PSS. Tribes in this country are 44. Get at least one. If you get somebody with disability from Yamira, get somebody of gender from Murang'a. Get somebody. For example, when you look at the cabinet position, I know you've never gone to Murang'a and got a constituency called Kandara. In Kandara constituency, it has two cabinet secretaries. Two. The Minister for Finance, the cabinet secretary for Finance, cabinet secretary for Water. One constituency has two. 289 constituencies are left to struggle to fight for 20 positions. Is it a fair representation? The question of resources, taxation is what runs a government. When it comes to KRA, tax is collected from everybody in this country. They have a right for representation. Karengata Association went to court and challenged the question of taxation without service. So the issue is, are you going to tax people from regions that are not represented in government?
Region, not
Either region, either community or gender. Are women going to say they will withhold taxes because they are not represented? This is not formation of a government, a political party. This is formation of a national government. And a national government, resources must be given even to those areas that never voted. But surprisingly, when you look at the political matrix, the voting pattern of the whole country, both Azimio and Kenya Kwanza got votes across board. Everywhere. Kenyans have a right. We are no longer in political agitation. We are now a country that is united.
Now we are continuing with the Punchline discussion, but just a quick request for those who are watching and they are yet to subscribe, please consider subscribing so that another time, once we release a video like this one, you will always get notified. Again, to all our channel subscribers, anyone who dropped comment, those who have joined channel membership, those who are super chatting us in our premium, thank you so much for your unconditional support. Again, I'm requesting you to give this video a thumbs up, and by the way, giving a thumbs up is also another way of supporting our content. Thank you, and back to our discussion. Now, the truth of the matter is that we are beyond the stage of political agitation in this country. Many people fought for it, and it is behind us. We should be moving forward, but there are individuals who want to take this country backwards, and they are determined to do so. You can see information in how they are forming their government. As the lawyer said, we are a multi-ethnic diversity country. Culture, religion, and our diversity has to be blended in that cabinet. Formation of government. Forming a government should not be a kind of formation of a political party. Once Ruto won election, he should know forming a political party is different from forming a government. A government should reflect a country. A government is a representation of the Kenyan people. And it is people who fund the government. I am not seeing an ethnic group that is only funding the government and the other people are not. So why concentrate in areas where you only got votes? And you forgot that beside being elected, there is issue of running government. And running government, you are going to depend from each and every corner, every community, every tribe, every individual, every gender, every people with disability, and everyone will need to be taxed in this country so that you can get resources to run that government. So these people should be represented. Someone will tell me the issue of members of parliament. That's different. We are talking about the executive. These people should have someone sitting there. When they're talking about the resources they have contributed, there should be someone from that area also being part of that meeting, talking about the resources they have contributed. Ama Ruto anataka tuambie ile ushuru ambao wanatumia kufanyia kazi serikali, wanatoa tu Mount Kenya na Rift Valley. Is that what he's trying to say? Yeah, this big no. In as much we only have 22 slots for CSS, he created 51 slots. Uhuru had 47. In this 51, at least the 42 tribes will have something. So you are wondering how you go to an area in one constituency, you choose a CS for water and sanitation, then a CS for finance, treasury. One constituency. So you want to please them so that they can vote for you in the next election. We are beyond this nonsense. And if Ruto is not careful, the way Railaodinga was talking about the issue of no development, no taxes, that thing might come out again. Because the behavior in which he has shown in the appointment of PSS, it can also be reflected when it will come to the distribution of development across the entire country. If we go that direction, then people have a right to stop paying taxes or even start talking about resist on a number of things. He will have nowhere to go. And the problem will be on his desk because it's the one who has allowed this thing to come out. I don't know how he will manage this issue. And someone will tell you here that, oh, Kikuyus are many in this country and that's why they have a lion's share. My question is then, what is the second, which is the second largest community after Kikuyu? Definitely you have Luhya. Why is it that Luhyas are not the second, having the second community having the second largest share in this government? Kwa nini sio wa pili? Then why not followed by Luos? And then Kalenjin will come in, then Kamba and other communities will follow. So it tells you that the people who have gone to the court have something that is serious, need to be taken seriously, and if the president is careful, he should listen to them and make a correct decision going forward. He is not running a political party, he is running a country, and all of us give taxes.